and it's make them believe you. If y'all want to know, like, what are you going to feast on? Okay, you can't desire millions and desire this dream life, but yet and still your life is lived like a nightmare because you're afraid to take risks. And so for the last few days, what's been on my mind, and I got to tell y'all, and I'm excited about it, but it's been on my mind for the last few days, and it's make them believe you. If y'all want to know the topic of this call today, I got 23 more minutes because my goal is to be in the car by 9:30. Today we're filming, so today's a big day for the Circle of Bosses. Thank you, Caramel Hodges, for the $10 cash app. But yeah, today is a big day, so I got to stay on time today. But I want to tell you that the truth is that manifestation means, man, I'm going to work. Man, I feast on something. And the feast that I'm feasting on is something that's adding value, something that's contributing to the lives of others. It can't be just about you. Whatever it is that you desire out of life has to be about how can I support, serve, and elevate somebody else. Anything that you're thinking about doing for 2022 in terms of a business, in terms of just who you are in life, it has to be about you adding value to somebody else. And so I want you guys to think, what value do you feel as if you can add? Everybody was born with a seed of power, a seed of potential, that if you water that seed, fertilize that seed, you could become somebody great. Do you know each and every one of you are really destined for greatness? Like, you're supposed to be great. You're supposed to have an abundant life. You're supposed to be healthy. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to listen. If you're someone that's very biblical and you're really Bible based, one of the things that you see in the Bible over and over and over again is abundance, prosperity. But why is it that that abundance is not relevant for you? Why is it that abundance is not showing up in your life? It's because somewhere in your life you're focusing on other things. And here's what I came up with for the last few days. Thank you so much, Mayor Chris Brown, for the badge. Thank you, Bria Shag, for the badge. Thank you, Leah, for the badge. But I came up with this the last few days. Like, whatever you want once, you want return, okay? If it's something that is supposed to be yours, if you want it and you think about it with deep desire, it really will show up, okay? But when that thing shows up, here's what I find that many people do. It's not hard to become successful. Successful is just really focusing on one thing and becoming cynical and psychotic and just really giving it all you got. And then boom, success happens, okay? Let me repeat that. Being successful is not easy. It's not hard. Everybody could be successful. If you can find one thing that you can focus on, write this down. Follow one course until successful. See, what happens is that many people they just liberal and general and they do all kind of things. But until you find one thing, Christina, find one thing, Doreen, that you could be known for. Like, to the point where, like, when people see me, like, when you hear Stormy Wellington, what comes to your mind? See, you got to think, when a person hears my name, what does my name make them think about? When they hear my name, what does my name make them want to do? When they hear my name, and repeat that, when they hear my name, what does my name make them think about? When they hear my name, what does my name make them want to do? And so I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, today, like, what are you known for? When a person hears your name, is your name known for gossiping? She always in some mess, or she always messing with somebody, man. Or she always begging. Like, what is your name known for? Because that's the thing. When a person hears your name is doing something to their soul. Okay? When you hear Stormy Wellington, what does my name make you think of? And many of you all don't realize that the reason why you're not successful is because what your name is associated with. Your name is associated with some of the wrong things. But I want to tell you all, as today is Monday, one of my favorite days of the week, you can literally write a new narrative. You can literally recreate and redefine the essence of who people think you are. And I'm telling you all right now is the time for you to say, you know what? I'm going to make them believe me. The topic today, I'm going to make them believe me. See, some of y'all don't realize the more you talk, the less people hear. The more you talk, the less people hear. It's about being a doer. The Bible speaks about being a doer of the word. You can't just be talking. How many of you all have met somebody that they talk so much it annoys you because you like, here she go again. Always got something to say. As a matter of fact, the always got something to say is frustrating. It's annoying. Like, here she goes, always having something to say. No, you need to show up as a doer. Like, did she go? She always doing something. You understand? Because when you do something and you produce a result, you become respected by that thing that you do. See, what I'm noticing with a lot of people, listen, jack of all trade, master of none, ain't it? You cannot be a jack of all trade and a master of none, okay? Or hear people say, you know, I'm going to do 10 different things and one thing going to work. That ain't how it go. You got to find that one thing that you decide that you're going to do, Miss Spade, and do that one thing. Thank you, Miss Pinky, for the badge. Do that one thing like your life depends on it, okay? And so I want to ask you guys today, drop in the comment section, what is the one thing that you want to be known for? What is it? What is that one thing? If you can have a wish list right now and you can literally define, here's who I am right now. I want you to type right now in the comment section, what is that one thing? Not 5 things, not 2 things. I want you to type in the comment section that one thing that you want to be known for. Because here's the truth. All of you are going to die one day. All of us are going to be dead one day. Period. It just is what it is. But when you die, what are they going to say about you? Oh, yeah, she ain't play. Oh, yeah, she was a motivator. Oh, yeah, she was an inspirator. Oh, yeah, she changed the world. Oh, yeah, one thing about her, she was going to get her some money. Oh, yeah, let me tell you something. She was so impactful. Oh, my God, she changed the way I thought about life. Like, what is it? And so the Bible says, you know, this is something I always refer back to, and I'll never forget this. Vegan Master Chef. All right, you better do it. This is the one thing that I would never forget, and I always reiterate and go back to this. All right, Dr. Keith Harley, International. Let's do it. So here's the one thing I always think about. The very first thing that God said to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, right, was to be fruitful and to multiply. Be fruitful. Be fruitful. Guys, we got to get to the fruitful part. And the fruitful part is not making enough fruit to pay your bills. See, that's the misconception that your grandmama and them and your auntie them told you. Y'all go ahead and hit share. We got 1,600 people on here. We need to be way over 5,000 people. Because I got something I want to share with you guys that me and Grant are going to be launching. And many of you all are going to want to be a part of this. So I need y'all to go ahead and hit share. I want to see these numbers get up to at least 3,000 people. So the very first thing that God said to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden was to be fruitful. And I think that what has happened with pandemic, technology, people are afraid. People are afraid to step into uncharted territory. Unfortunately, let me tell y'all something. Many of us have been prepared to live in a world that no longer exists. Like, if you're not tapping into technology and you're not tapping into some type of financial, crypto, some type of digital drop shipping, like, if you have to continue to physically be somewhere to earn an income, you're going to have a problem. Now, of course, there's certain industries that's never going away. Food industry is never going away. People got to eat. The water industry is never going away. People need water. The utility industry is never going away. But many people are not playing on that level. Many people are playing on a level of customer service and, you know, you buy your doctors and your teachers. But look at even teachers. There was a point in time where we was told that when you have a career as a teacher that you're always solid, okay? But look, teachers are unemployed, underpaid. And so, y'all, we got to pay attention to the world that we have been prepared for that's no longer in existence. You're going to have to be willing to take courses, to go learn some new things, to technology right now. If you're not using the internet as a form of obviously resources, but as a form of creating passive income or residual income, you need to change the way you think. It is time for you to start thinking different. All the day of, working hard, them days is out the door. You got to learn to work smart. You got to learn to work smart. You got to learn to be strategic. You got to learn that, wait a minute, when a new game is being played, you got to learn how to play the game according to how the new game is being played. And many of you all see the new game. We're watching it all over the internet. How is it that the Kardashian, made $1 million in a minute? Like, those type of things are supposed to make you think. And I want y'all to write this down. This is my new perspective that I'm sticking to, so y'all better get goddamn ready. I got some good stuff for y'all that's gonna blow y'all mind. The new R&R. The new R&R, what is that? Reinvent yourself and stay relevant, okay? Reinvent yourself and stay relevant, right, Chris Brown? If you're not constantly in, oh my God, how do I stay relevant? And relevance don't mean controversy all the time. Relevance means I'm not afraid to be myself. Some of y'all are so afraid to speak up in truth. You're so busy, consumed with trying to be accepted. Like, who gives a damn about being accepted? Why do you care about being accepted by people that don't even accept and appreciate themselves? So why do you care about being accepted by people who don't even know themselves or appreciate who they are? And so we spend too much time trying to cater to people that ain't never gonna like you. They're never gonna like you. They're never gonna accept you because they don't like or accept themselves. And so pay attention to what's happening, my friends. Pay attention to what's happening. Thank you, Charlene, for the badge. Thank you, Sheila Woodward, for the badge. I could buy lunch today. Thank you, Christina, for the lunch for the today. Thank y'all so much. Chris Brown, thank you. And so I just want us to wake up 32 days away into the new year. And unfortunately, we got to know, be fruitful. Decide what is that one business that you're going to focus on, y'all. And I'm going to tell you something. Look at all, this is what you got to do. Y'all ready for this? This is what you got to do. Look at all of your businesses, all of your associations, all of your affiliations. Look at them. Look at them. Literally, listen, I'm getting all my business affairs in a row right now. I'm talking to everybody that I believe that I have the potential to make money with. I'm talking to them, but I'm also letting them know that my focus is health and wellness. Yeah, I'm going to get in this with you because at the level that I'm playing at, my contacts are just different and it makes sense. But just make sure you know, sir, make sure you know, ma'am, that my bottom line is to get back to tapping into helping people to understand health as well. Everybody's doing, see, you got to learn how to be unique, okay? What makes your business or whatever your concept, service is, what makes it unique? What gives it that cutting edge? What makes me, Reggie, want to come to you versus somebody else? So we got to always be thinking, what is the additional value that I'm adding? Yeah, Louisa, you do taxes, but outside of taxes, what is the additional value that you add? Because I get my taxes done from anywhere in the world, Larissa, but I want to get my taxes done from Larissa because Larissa does this special thing, and this special thing is what makes me want to go spend money with Larissa. Reggie got a vision board party, this weekend. As a matter of fact, we're less than 10 days away. Reggie vision board party is this weekend. What makes me want to go to Reggie's vision board party? Everybody does vision board parties. Everybody's always doing those things. That's old school. Why am I going to Reggie's vision board party? What makes Reggie's vision board party the vision board party that I want to manifest my vision under? So we got to always think, not general, but we got to think, how am I adding the most value that when a person thinks about health and wellness, they think about Stormy. That's where I'm at right now. When you think about health and wellness as a Black or Latino, I want you to think about Stormy Wellington. You understand? And you got to look a certain kind of way. You got to feel a certain kind of way. I'm being honest with you. I'm not buying no nutritional supplements from somebody that look like they dying. And if I do, I'm buying it one time to support you. And I may not even use it because I don't believe in it. So I'm telling y'all right now, we got to make people believe us. We got to make people believe us. How we show up, what we look like, what we feel like. Thank you, Christina, for the badge. Thank you, Trigape Solutions. We got to make people believe us. We got to look away. We got to talk away. We got to feel away, okay? And all it is consistency, okay? All you got to do is decide to commit and be consistent, period. You can't be wishy-washy. Thank you, professional services at Gmail for $50. Hey, you got to make people believe you. And we don't believe you when you jump in and out, okay? Be consistent. Be consistent. And if you could be consistent for 30 days, you can be consistent for 60 days. If you could be consistent for 60 days, you can be consistent for 90 days. If you can be consistent for 90 days, you're going to see a major difference. People are going to believe you because they're going to see the life that you've been talking about through you. You understand? They got to see the life that you're talking about lived through you. And until you understand that, y'all, it's going to be a major, major, major problem. And so keep it very simple. Figure out that one thing that you're going to specialize in. Remember, be fruitful. Once you specialize in that one thing, guess what you could do? Guess what you could do? You can now multiply, which means you take that concept and you figure out how to teach it to your daughters, how to teach it to your sisters, how to teach it to your friends, how to teach it to people in your community. Now you're multiplying. And I'm going to tell you right now, people respect multiplication. Yeah. People don't respect division, but people respect multiplication. When people see the fruits of your labor being multiplied, your name will start to ring bells. You start to develop relationships and networks with people that the average person could never, because they don't respect you. Let me be honest with you guys. Some of you all are not what you desire because nobody respects you. I'm going to tell you something. I don't respect a fat personal trainer. I don't respect an overweight person in the wellness industry. I don't respect a person telling me to be healthy, but they're eating pigs and sodas and chips and cookies and shit all day long. And you look crazy, your skin look crazy. You want me to lie to you? A lot of y'all don't know the reason why you stuck is because nobody don't believe you and they don't respect you. And the worst thing to me is being disrespected. I'd rather you not believe me, but disrespect, that ain't what's gonna happen.
In this book.
All right. Y'all, I'll be having the how everybody's doing this beautiful afternoon. It's afternoon now. Hope everybody's doing okay. Okay, what I'm gonna say is I have to share something that inspired me with you guys before I start a live. So every time I go live, I'm gonna be sharing something. I was trying to find my music because I didn't have my music together because I was working on the video that I was about to upload after this live. So that's what I was working on before I went live, and I wasn't able to get everything together because when I looked up, it was time for me to go live. But anyway, let's get into it because this gonna be a good chapter, but especially the next one because we're gonna get into some numbers. Yeah, buddy. But okay, here we go. Chapter 10, competition is for sissies. One of the great lies perpetuated by mankind is the idea that competition is good. Good for whom exactly? It might help provide customers with choices and compel others to do better. However, in the business world, you always want to be in a position to dominate, not compete. Wow, I did not know they was going to say that because that's what I'm going to be uploading. That's the title that I'm gonna be uploading. Dominate your environment. Okay. If the old saying is competition is healthy, the new saying is if competition is healthy, then domination is immunity. From what I've seen, competing with others limit a person's ability to think creatively, because he or she is constantly watching what someone else is doing. The reason my first business has been so successful is because I created sales programs that introduced a truly original way of selling for which there was no competition. It was clearly a new way to think and approach selling. No one had done anything other than just copy one another for the past 200 years. So I ignored the competition and did something, created a new sales process called assisted selling. Information assisted selling. This was before the internet and before consumers had information readily available to them. I predicted that sellers would have to throw away the old ways of selling and learn how to use information to assist them. Although I was ahead of my time and traditional thinkers resisted once the internet hit critical mass, information assisted selling became a way of selling. And my competition was left holding on to adequate systems and processes. No, that's the antiquated systems and processes. And I came out on top because people were thrilled to see something completely new. Forward thinkers don't copy. They don't compete. They create. Forward thinkers don't copy. They don't compete. They create. They also don't look at what others have done. Never make it your goal to compete. Instead, do everything you can to dominate your sector in order to avoid spending your time chasing someone else. Don't let another company set the pace. Make this your organization's job. Stay ahead of the pack. Make it so that they want to chase you and try to be like you, not the other way around. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't study others, best practices and industry trends. Let me read that again. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't study others' best practices and industry trends. However, you want to make it your job to take those concepts to another level. For example, Apple makes computer and smartphones. It didn't simply copy what Dell, IBM, RAM, and others were doing. Apple doesn't compete. It dominates. It sets the pace and it lets others try to duplicate its success. Don't set your goals at a competitive level. Don't set your goals at a competitive level. Set them at a level that will overshadow and dominate your sector completely. How do you dominate? You may wonder. The first step is to decide to dominate. Then the best way to dominate is to do what others refuse to do. That's right, do what they will not do. This will allow you to immediately carve out a space for yourself and develop an unfair advantage. Let me be clear. I want an unfair advantage if I can create one. Though I am always ethical, I never play fair. I seek out ways in which I can get an unfair advantage. In one way, Sophia want to do this to it. And one way to surefire way, and one surefire way to do this is to do what others won't. Find something they cannot do, maybe because of their size or their commitment to other projects, and then exploit that. Maybe they are cutting back during a time when the economy is uncertain. This would be your moment to expand into those spaces where they are contracting. A company I was working with that was in dental implants told me the leader in the field had cut all travel expenses and elected that all client contact is done by phone and over the internet. To get a competitive advantage, we decided to dominate the personal contacts with the leader retreated. No, we decided to dominate the personal contract while the leader retreated. Domination, not competition. Never play by the agreed upon norms within which others operate. The rules, norms, and traditions of any group or industry are usually traps that prevent new ideas, high levels of greatness, and domination. You don't want to just be in a race. You want to be at the top of the list of consideration. Even better, you would like to be the only one considered as a viable solution. You need to adapt the attitude that you have so much power in your space that your clients, your market, and even your competition automatically think about you first when they think about what you do. IBM did this so successfully that all PCs were referred to as IBMs. There was a time when Xerox accomplished this so successfully with computers that you didn't talk about making copies, but rather Xering. This is pure domination of a sector and not correctly protecting your trademark name. The goal at my sales training company is not to compete with others in this space for the revenue or the clients. Our goal is to literally make sure that every human being on planet Earth equates Grant Cardone with sales training. Achievable? Probably not, but it is the target we use for marketing, making decisions. We aren't competing with anyone else to be the best in a sector. Our goal is to dominate the thinking of other people so that my name becomes synonymous with sales training. Google the term sales motivation and watch my video pop up. That is the way to approach a sector goal. A sector goal or any endeavor to own it completely. You can always learn from those who want to compete. Just don't chase them. Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, was said to shop other stores weekly in order to see what they were doing well and improve on that. At the same time, he also had the goal of domination, not competition. If you are going to duplicate the best of what others do, then hammer away at them. Then hammer away at them. Champion that practice and make it yours. Hone their specialties until they become your advantages. Do so until the point Do so to the point where you become the expert and leader in that area and dominate it so incredibly that they no longer even want to attempt it. You don't have to be first to the space, but it is important to be considered first in the space. If you get what I mean, the message you want to send to the marketplace through your persistent action is no one can keep up with me. I'm not going away. I'm not a competitor. I am the space. Most of you will have less money than some of the leaders in your space. Even if you have less money than others, even if you have less even if you have less money than other players in the market, that doesn't mean you're at a disadvantage. Although they may be able to outspend or out advertise you, you can certainly outwork them by using social media, personal visits, mail, email, networking, and so on. Create campaigns using the resources you do have. There is no shortage of energy, effort, creativity, or how much you can make contact with your clients. Use variations of campaigns of offers, information, video, links, third party validation, mail, emails, phone calls, and personal visit combinations to counter the expenses and often wasteful ad campaigns used by the bigger players. Warning: when using activity to counter deep pocket advertisement of competitors, never underestimate how much activity it takes to be noticed and to maintain attention in your space. For example, people think that they can post twice a day on Facebook or Twitter and that they are creating an effect. You don't understand massive action if you think in tools, and you definitely are underestimating the size of the internet if you think a couple of posts are going to get you noticed. Like every other aspect of growing your business, you have to keep showing up over and over and make it obvious that you're not going away. The good thing about social media is anyone can play in the space regardless of his or her financial situation. It allows for unlimited creativity and rewards only those who use it consistently and persistently. When I first started playing with social media, I posted twice a day. I didn't know what I was thinking. It was a moment of little things. We simultaneously began sending out strategies once a month and found ourselves getting requests from people who wanted to be removed from our email campaign. My colleagues suggested I back off. That is when I woke up and came to my senses. Instead of backing off, I made the order to increase the number of posts to 10 times what we had been doing. I then instructed my employees to start sending out electronic strategies twice a week instead of monthly, 8 times, and began personally posting comments on Twitter 48 times a day, once every 30 minutes. Each of them was written by me, and they were set up to be dropped at a certain time. Although you might assume that the complaints and unsubscribed requests would increase with this massive outflow campaign, oh my God, really? Each of them was written by me, and they were set up to be dropped in a certain time. Although you might assume that the complaints and unsubscribe requests would increase with this massive outflow campaign, they didn't. Instead, we started receiving emails and posts of admiration for my activity level and compliments for my willingness to provide people with free sales and motivational information. The question came flooding in. How can you do all this? How big is your staff? Where did you find the time? Do you ever rest? And for every person commenting, there had to be another 1,000 thinking something similar. And who do you think they were thinking about? This was not expensive to do. It only cost me energy, effort, and creativity. At the same time, I was doing this, the guy who most people compared me with was asked what he thought about social media. He responded, I'm still evaluating it. While he is evaluating, I am beating it to death. Oh, no, no, no. Hmm. This was okay. No, 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 no. While he was evaluating, I am beating it to death. I posted one day on Twitter, I'm going to make Twitter my little bitch. This is a great example of domination and outrageous think and action that doesn't cost money. Think about domination like this. You can dominate if you don't penetrate, and you won't penetrate. Hold up. Think about dominating like this. You can't dominate if you don't penetrate. And you won't penetrate by using reasonable levels of activity. Your biggest problem is obscurity. Obscurity. Other people don't know you and aren't thinking about you. Another problem for all of us is just getting through the amount of noise in the marketplace. You have to do two things. One, get noticed, and two, get through the noise. In my case, had we made a decision to back off in order to satisfy a few complainants, we would not have expanded our contact base. The more I posted, the more people liked us. The more we put out, the more people we helped. As we blasted on this new program, we even saw posts from competitors mocking me. Yet, even though these comments brought attention to me in my business, two things will happen when you take the right amount of action. Number one, you will get a new set of problems, and number two, your competition will start promoting you. I love it when I have made such an impact that others who don't even know me are having conversations that raises awareness about my business, my products, and what I'm up to. Determine the capability action. Okay, determine the capability, actions, and mindset of those against whom you compete. Do what they would not do. Go where they would not go. And think and take action in 10x quantities that they could not comprehend. Don't get too involved in competing on best practice. Take your action to a point considered unreasonable by the world, where you are doing those things that only you and your company could, or are willing to do. Something I call only practices. For one company I was for one company I once consulted with, we identified places in which only practice could be employed. We discovered that the industry in general struggles with the practice of following up with customers. We discovered that the industry in general struggled with the practice of following up with customers. So we looked at what our competitors would not do and found that none of them would call back clients as they left the store. This led the company to immediately initiate programs during which clients were called back as they drove out of the parking lot. Managers then immediately started calling clients' cell phones as they left the company's premises and asked them to return. If the call went to voicemail, the manager left a message requesting the client to please come back immediately. I have something you must see. Or the manager would send a text suggesting that the company had something to show the client right away. If there was no successful contact made, another manager repeated the callback program the same day and again the next morning. The results were crazy. Almost 50% of the clients returned immediately, and almost 80% of them became buyers at the time. Another 20% returned as a result of the later calls and increased the sales of that organization to new levels. This is an example of only practices. It doesn't matter what you do. It does matter that your goal be to dominate the sector with action. There are immediately immediate, consistent, and persistent in it levels that no one else is willing to operate or duplicate. Let me read that again. It doesn't matter what you do. It does matter that your goal be to dominate your sector with action that are immediate, consistent, persistent, and at a level that no one else is willing to operate it or duplicate. Take any action and take it to a level that will separate you and your company from everyone else who might be in your space. Be willing to spend every last bit of your energy, effort, and creativity on distinguishing yourself as the. Don't feel sorry. What happened? Why is it started over? Let me just continue to go. Don't feel sorry for them. Dominate them. Is everything still the same? Don't feel sorry for them. Dominate them. Let me read that again. Weak markets actually create opportunities because the player. What just happened, y'all? I'm seeing my numbers. I didn't even know it went out. I'm just reading and I'm looking at the numbers, and it's like it started over. But I'm still alive. Wow. They're not having bad. Okay. Weak markets actually create opportunities because the player in those markets typically have become dependent and weak because they don't know how to operate in a more challenging environment. Don't feel sorry for them. Dominate them. They're not having bad luck. They're average. Their average think and actions are simply failing them. Their marketplace is brutal and will punish anyone and everyone who does not take the right amounts of action. Now is the time to shift into making your every thought and action aimed at dominating your sector, market, competition, and the every thought of your potential clients. Quit thinking about competing, despite what everyone says is not healthy. It's for sissies. Chapter 11, Breaking Out of the Middle Class. Please don't take offense at what I write in this chapter. I know many of you have spent your whole life trying to get to the middle class, and I'm about to tell you it is the wrong goal. Have an open mind. I am going to write an entire book on this topic one day, but for now, let's just think about breaking out of what I call, excuse me, the middle class mentality. I believe I can make the case that the middle class is the group I believe, hello, I believe I can make the case that the middle class is the group hurt most by its members' thinking and action, leaving themselves to be the most susceptible to insecurity and pain. Although this is a group that many people aspire to be a part of, it's also the group that seems the most trapped, manipulated, and at risk. Is the middle class really a good? Is the middle class really as good a status as you've been made to believe? Do you even know what it means to be middle class or what puts a person in this group? It's no secret. What is going on? Why does it keep starting over? Everything looks good here. Let's continue. It keeps starting. Holy crappy patty. What was that? From the looks of it, it was starting. I don't know why I was doing it on my end. Okay, okay. Okay. Read another set of studies, and these figures are between 22,000 and 65,000 per year. It's no secret that it would be extremely difficult to live on either of these incomes levels in an urban area like New York or LA, much less feel financially secure. This experience is not what most people would consider a desirable situation. The middle class is further divided into the super and lower middle class. The upper middle class usually consists of people who have substantial assets and household earnings of over 1 million per year. Although there is nothing to substantiate what makes 1 million the mark, I guess it just sounds good. Most people consider 1 million to be a lot of money until they have it. Then they realize that it doesn't go very far since a person's decision and consideration tends to change once he or she enters the new income bracket. The people in the supposed upper middle class occupy notably higher positions in their offices and are considered financially more stable than many of their peers. This may be very well be, but this may very well be the case until any sort of economic destruction occurs. Then we tend to see that even this group is unprotected. Admittedly, members of this group should experience a considerably rise in their incomes due to the economic growth of the nation in good times. They have higher disposable income than many of their counterparts in the lower middle class, which consists of people who have basic educational qualifications and an annual income of between 30,000 and 60,000. The lower middle class constitutes a large part of our country's total population. This set frequently struggles to reach the upper middle class. the upper middle classes level. However, when economic hardship takes hold, Everyone gets pulled down. A client of mine recently asked me via text message on the 26th of a recent month, Grant, I have to net 10,000 to keep my doors open this month. How can I do this? I happened to get his message during a Sunday football game. So I asked him, are you watching the game today? He texted me back, yes. I then replied, what are you doing to take a Sunday off to watch a game? He says, what are you doing taking a Sunday off to watch the game? You should be out distributing flyers, spending every second of every hour trying to create income in excess of what you need. And by the way, you need 100,000 in net profit, not 10,000. Sunday, he responded, is a day of rest. Oh boy, I shot back. It is for those that work the other 6 days. The Lord wasn't talking to the people who are short on funds and haven't earned a day of rest. So turn off that game and get off your couch and go get the money you need. Quit being a middle class slave and go create the income you need to secure wealth and financial freedom for yourself and your household and your company. I think you get the message. My client is at risk because he has been operating based on what he needs and therefore is just getting by. Unfortunately, this middle class mentality will not create financial security. The banks dried up on him. He could no longer depend on credit for his cushion, and he can now depend only on his actions. This is the problem with many members of the middle class. They go after what they've deemed necessary rather than ever going really big. Most people believe that a comfortable middle class life includes clothes, a house, a few cars, vacation time, maybe an upper management position, and some money in the bank. However, depending on the period in history to which we're referring, the term middle class has had a variety of meanings, much of which has been and still are quite contradictory. It has it has referred to the class of people between peasants and nobility, whereas other definitions suggest that the middle class had enough capital to rival nobles. We've clearly came a long way from that meaning today. For example, in India, the middle class is considered to be those who reside in an owner-occupied property, whereas a blue-collar job makes you middle class in the United States. Excuse me. And in Europe, that makes you a member of the working class. An important distinction an important distinction that I like to make is my own reference to middle class as a mindset rather than an income level. Someone who makes 1 million a year may still adopt middle class thinking and action. It is more of a mentality that creates the trap that will fail you. The middle class is, in large part, a goal that will not provide you with what you truly want. It is middle, normal, or average, synonymous with the term we already deem as highly unattractive. But what does middle class mean to most people nowadays? In February 2009, authorities' weekly publication, The Economist, announced that over half the world population now belongs to this group as a result of rapid growth in emerging countries. The article characterized middle class as having a reasonable amount of discretionary discretionary income and not having to live from hand to mouth as the poor do. It was defined as beginning at the point where people had roughly a third of their income left for discretionary spending after paying for basic food and shelter. However, almost no member of today's middle class has one third of his or her income left for discretionary income. This group is currently being hammered by something called the middle class squeeze, a situation in which income, a situation in which increases in wages fail to keep up with the inflation for middle income earners. At the same time, the phenomenon fails to have a similar impact on the top wage earners. And to that, the fact that much of the supposed middle class wealth has come from assuming debt and home equity calculations that were more than real money. Persons belonging to the middle class frequently found that their independence upon credit worsened by the collapse of the housing market prevents them from maintaining a middle class lifestyle making downward mobility a threat to counteract aspiration of upward mobility. This is the gravity, resistance, and unexpected conditions I mentioned earlier. This group then experienced middle class income declining as jobs are lost. And for the first time in our history, we are seeing more men lose jobs than women because higher paid males are being let go in favor of keeping their less expensive counterparts. At the same time, the prices of necessary items such as energy, education, housing, and insurance continue to increase while wages decrease. This kind of squeeze always affects the largest group of people in a given population. The wealthy don't depend on income and debt, and the poor will receive help for which the middle class don't qualify. For most people, being middle class means having a reliable job with fair to good pay, consistent health care, a fairly comfortable home, and a nice neighborhood, a good education, whatever that means, for one's children, time out for vacation. This is highly valuable. This is highly valued. Time out for vacation. This is highly valued. And money in a 401k that is growing and allowing for a decent retirement. Yet all of this, taken for granted for so long, is now in turmoil thanks to a housing implosion and credit collapse. The existing middle class is being squeezed in hopes at best to hold on to our or recover past achievement. This group's average income is steadily decreasing. Its members' jobs are in jeopardy, and their savings and investments have been put at risk. The greatly appreciated vacation of the past will probably be more like a visit to the neighborhood park. What is the point of me telling you all this? Ask people in the middle class if this feels secure or desirable, and although they may claim that they are grateful nor to be poor, they will likely tell you that they feel more like a member of the working class than the middle class. Consider as well the fact that the dollar is worth less today than it was yesterday. It will be worth even less tomorrow. Someone who's making 60,000 a year pays 15,000 in taxes. If that person is lucky, he or she is left with 45,000 a year, which is really worth only 32,000 for a home, school, insurance, food, car payments, fuel, medical emergency, vacations, and savings. Does this sound desirable to you? Middle class was a dream sold to countless Americans as a good goal towards which they should strive. Yet in reality, it is really only close to good and probably better described as a mousetrap with a big fat piece of cheese on it. I contend that the middle class is the most suppressed, restricted, and combined psycho psychoeconomy demographic in the world. Those who desire to be a part of it are compelled to think and act in a certain way where just enough is the reward. The idea that one would only have enough to be comfortable or adequately to satisfy is a concept that has been sold by the educational system, the media, and politicians to convince an entire population of people to settle instead of strive for abundance. However, it only takes a bit of waking up to discover that it is a promise without fulfillment. Today, the wealthiest 5% of people control 80 trillion, which is more money than has been created in the history of mankind. If you knew that you had the same energy and creativity to make it to the next level, would you give it a try? The end. We are done with that. Why did I close my book? So we are done with that, and I got a video that I'm about to release in a minute. And so we still got some more chapters to do. As usual, I will be giving you guys a notification. I do not have my music together, so I can't play any music. But what I would like to do at this time is I would like to share some information with you guys. Okay. What I'm starting is a 1K um new subscriber challenge. My goal is to reach 1K subscribers by August the 20th. Um yeah, and I will be giving a $50 cash app giveaway to those who are subscribed. Well, it will be picked to the ones who I choose. But the information will be in the description box. So it'll explain everything that y'all need to participate within the cash out drawing. But it's also gonna be appreciation for y'all helping me reach that mark of 100K subscribers. So with that said, I will see y'all on the next live, which, like I said, I will be giving y'all a notification of that. And also, I have worked on the 20 grand challenge um, information that I will be releasing to you guys. So stay tuned for that as well. I haven't quite finished that yet, but it should be ready sometime in the morning. So with that said, I hope y'all have a beautiful remainder of y'all day and keep doing what y'all have to do to get to the next stage of whatever y'all are trying to do. As always, Mystic Lady Z, which is me, is always promoting empowerment and mental strategies for everyone to get to that next level where they're trying to be, and also myself. I'm not there, but I know I'm going to make it there. But hey, I'm going to keep pushing through it, and I encourage you all to do the same. So with that said, I will see y'all on the next live. Talk to y'all soon.